Hi, this this is the week 4 as I remember. I came here to speak. I don't know what I am speaking today. My mind is so much filled with so many information and the news going on with the world, things happening in the Iran, things happening in Venezuela, what Donald Trump says every day, what is happening in Russia and China and Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, everyone trying so hard. It feels so heavy when they're trying so hard. Some people want to control half of the oil production in the world. Some people can't even transport their oil to another country. Some people want some land. Some people want to have their country. Greenland saying they don't want to sell Greenland to Trump, and Trump's trying to give money for citizens. Denmark get involved, NATO get involved, and Donald Trump removed USA from so many treaties, so many organizations, and America wants everyone to do transactions with dollars. So many tension. Everyone wants their way to happen in this world, to have control and power. Donald Trump saying there's a risk of, he thinks that China or Russia will take Greenland, and that is why he wants Greenland. He is not sure either. To do a statement like that, he should be in so much scarcity. Imagine a person lives in so much scarcity. He do everything in order to stop that scare. I don't know where he get that scarcity, but American economy is also going bad and hard, and they want to maintain that economy to stay in number one in the world, to keep power, to show the power to the world. And he is talking about the morality while killing thousands of people, plotting every coup in the world and throwing out governments. For what? To maintain, to access the resources in the world most of the time. Even Donald Trump recently said that American companies have the control for Venezuelan oil 2 centuries ago or something. And Hugo Chavez came into the power and he took the control to the government, and they put sanctions on them, and Nicolas Maduro continued that authority, and he had the power to have control in that oil reserve. One of the biggest, they said, that can be used in American refineries. They want that refineries to work. To work, they need the resources. And why we need resources, humans? Why humans need resources? We need resources to supply energy that needed for our survival. To survive mean to get or to supply our human needs and wants, to fulfill our human needs and wants. That's why we need resources. We need energy. And because of we need energy, it creates a demand. When it creates a demand, everyone wants to have the control and power over resources. Each and everyone looking at another country in suspicious way, that they might do something else. Imagine if human being suspicion mean they haven't talked or communicated with the other person enough to understand them, to understand their intentions. Imagine what you need to live in this world. What you need food, water, shelter, safety. That's what you need to live in this world. And why we have elected leaders? We have elected leaders to make it easy to create systems for us to do that peacefully. If we have proper system, if they have focused and created better system for us to survive, do we really need to know who runs the country? Really? We don't need to know. Why we need to know? If there is a system for us to provide our basic needs with ease, if there are rules and the rules are protected by government officers, that's why we pay taxes. If we pay half of our taxes to the governments, why they can't create those systems? Because they can't focus enough. Their mind is distracted by so many things. And we elect leaders to create those systems, and it seems like they don't do their job properly, or they don't know how to do their job properly. If we know how to communicate enough, or if we know how to listen to other people, it is very easy to share these resources. If we need resources to live, and each and every human is just like you, right? But why can't we create systems to share without scarcity? If you need basic needs to fulfill, you won't fight with anyone. If you are full, if you have food to eat, is there any reason for you to fight even? I don't think so. But some people in the world, they have access to resources, and they know if they have managed those resources, they can control a population. If they have access to information and resources, they can tell us how to live. But why someone tell us how to live? Why we live? What we have to do? No one talks about, but everyone distracted with just survival. We need to survive. That's the truth. Humans need to survive. That's why we have built families, communities, schools to survive as a collective. In those survival, some people think they have power over everything, and they try to control that by sanctions or by their words, where they say those things with fear mostly, based in ourselves, in themselves. And I have heard that Donald Trump saying, if Iranian government shoots people, they will start also shooting. But they are even Donald Trump's officers, IDF or the immigration office, ICE or something, they shot their own citizens in the face. What we got to do when the military shoots people? Where is the morality? How can they say one person is great and another person is not great? Where do they draw that line? How can they talk about morality when thousands of children die in Gaza? They die in Ukraine, Iran, Russia, Ukraine, Venezuela. In every country, when even children are dying to satisfy their needs and wants, what they're looking for? They're looking for power, control over those resources. So when they can control that demand and supply, they can keep you in line and they can do whatever they want and they can keep their dollar running. That's what they want. They are attached to those things more than those babies in the world. Look at that. How disgusting is that? How can you prioritize money and wealth and control resources more than a human being? And that is the problem we got to talk about. As humans, we need to understand that we have attachments in our life. We are mostly attached to our body. When something happens to our body, we react, right? When someone attacks to us, we react because we have survival instincts to our attachment, because we are attached to our body. So that survival instincts kick in. Just like that, next we are attached, our priority comes to our family and friends. When something happens to them, we react because we have attachment. So we try to survive them. And then we are attached to our beliefs, our habits, our behaviors. When someone questions our beliefs, we react. But it actually is a belief, something we don't know. If you don't call it a belief, you call it, you know that. And we are killing humans for our attachment towards our beliefs more than a human life. Then we are attached to our worldly resources, money or car, whatever you can buy with basically money, something you have inherited, something you have to live on this earth one day. You are not the owner of that, you are just a guardian for a short time. But as human instincts, survival instincts, because of our attachment towards those resources, because we call those things, objects as ours, mine, it has become a better priority than a human life. We take actions to protect those resources. And then humans are attached to our titles, whether you are a manager, assistant manager, you are president, vice president, secretary, or army general officer, or you are pope, a religious leader. You are attached to those titles. And when something happens to those titles, we react, our survival instincts come in. Imagine if you are a manager and you are depromoted into assistant manager, how you might feel. You feel attacked, you feel hurt, you feel anger. When those emotions arise, we react, we try to protect our attachments, and we do whatever it takes to protect our attachments over small children. And then comes the rest of the people in a country. First we prioritize our attachment, then comes the people. That is why there is so much corruption in the world, and so many people try to protect those things to maintain something they have created in their mind. It just exists in their mind. Your world and my world is totally different. Your world is what you see, hear, and experience, and their world is kind of the same. They have formed beliefs, they have inherited worldly resources, they have got into a position in life and got a title, and they want to defend those things. That's human survival, our instincts. If we are not aware about our attachments, how can we care for millions of people? If you run a country, if you say you are world power, that means you are responsible for all the humans in the world. If you say you are world number one, be number one in the world, but you have to care for 8 billion people. Those are humans just like you and me. They fear, we feel pain, they feel pain, they have fear, we have fear. We enjoy, we love, they do the same. We need the same things to eat, and you have the same mechanism in your body. But at the end, you just have to leave your body. Then who are you? After you are dead, nobody calls you by your name. They will call you the body. So where you have gone? So who are you? You are not just the body. We come into this earth without knowing anything. We don't know. Even the gods you believe or the prophecies you have heard, the great men, the things have done great things. Those are all humans who are born into this world, just like you and me, without knowing anything. And all they have done is to gone through themselves. They have learned themselves. They have understood themselves. They have realized, and they have preached. And the way someone communicates is based on the vocabulary and the words they know. And over centuries, thousands of years, people have misinterpreted, and we have the story right now in a different format, different way. Think about if you pass a message to 10 people here. There are experiments done by people. When you send a message and when the 10th person gets the message, it becomes so different. That is what happened to the religions in the world as well. That is something to talk about later. But the truth is, we haven't learned about ourselves first. If you are a leader in a country, how can you prioritize millions of people when you are mostly attached to your survival instincts? Humans are not just survivors, but first we need to survive. We are creators. To be creators, first we need to survive. To survive, we have created systems. Our ancestors have created systems as a collective for us to survive. And we live in that system right now. Now, you have elected leaders to carry out their systems. But they are doing the system they have inherited. They have learned from their ancestors or the existing system. But you know clearly that existing system is not sustainable. People are dying everywhere. Leaders are living their lives from fear, scarcity. So when they do that, they take actions that harm other people because they are so afraid. You see that leaders are talking in front of media with strength. They are so confident. That is one mask they show it to your public, show it to you. But the truth is, their inner world, they run with so much fear and insecurity. That is why they want to control everything. and take everything. But human, if they understand about ourselves, to learn to love ourselves, to learn to love how our actions are happening, how our emotions and feelings and thoughts are shaping our lives and actions in life. And if you simply learn about who you are really, if you learn to understand about yourself, only you can understand the pain and suffering of another human. You all need simple systems for us to survive without any trouble. That's the truth. No one can deny that. And we have elected leaders. Why? Because they are good at public speaking. They can come into the media confidently and talk to, manipulate millions of people. They say so many things. Even Trump has said he will finish the wars and he will end the war between Russia and Ukraine within 24 hours. Even I believed him. But after they got power, they do something so much differently. It doesn't matter it is Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Whoever comes, the same things goes on and on, because they are influenced by so many powerful people around the world to maintain their business. With business, they maintain their money flow. With money flow, they maintain their luxury lifestyle and power and control. And those powerful people influence the leaders who are good at public speaking to carry out their agendas and their future, their plans. But most of the time, their plans work for few people. Mostly the people, they know who are around them. You see, even you don't meet millions of people. Average, a human meet just 100,000 people. Even from that 100,000, we really get to know around 10,000 people. Even 10,000 people is a lot. Even your Facebook can't add 10,000 people, only 5,000. So your world is small, and it is same for them. Their world, what they attach to, what they love, what they care is very small. But in this earth, there are 8 billion people. That is a fact. That is truth. We have to think and care about all those people. As a leader, it is their responsibility to think and care and prioritize all millions of people in their country and in the world, how their actions affect, so people can live with ease. But right now, they have distracted you and they have carried their agendas to maintain that for themselves and the people around them. That is their world, because they don't know how to care for millions of people, because they have not gone through themselves. They have not understood themselves enough to do that. If humans are evolving, we have evolved from kings to president and prime ministers now. How? Do you know how? Do you know why? Do you know why UK king and their dynasty is still in power, still in that position? Because they are smart. They created many people who have power over money, bankings, their business. They all talk together and it becomes their small world, and they keep that control in their world because they don't see you. They don't feel anything about you because they have not felt that inner power they have. They have not took control of themselves enough. If a person took control of their inner self, if they feel the power within themselves, they don't try to look the power outside world. They don't need to control the outside. What is happening is the world leaders haven't felt inner power within themselves. They haven't understood themselves. So they are looking for power within outside, and that power can satisfy them for a short period of time. But at the end of their time, they all have to go through that hell, because they know they'll die in fear. They know what they have done, and I don't know their belief, but they have to born again and repeat some cycle again, because they have not learned. We have not learned. A few people in this world have learned, and they might have end the cycle of rebirth, life, but many of us keep repeating. And it is the system. the life we live in, whether you have no control. Can you say when you're gonna die? We don't know, right? Even we have no control over our life. So what we really doing? What they are doing? What we have to do? How we have to evolve? Leaders, when you elect them for a position, you don't ask for qualification. But if you are a manager or some businessman, you know that when you hire someone for a job and responsibility, you ask for qualifications. But right now, we don't ask. Do they really need a qualification, or are they just fine as they are? Do you happy with them? Do you happy with the job they are doing? Don't you want to fire them? You happy about the definition of morality while killing thousands of babies? I should not laugh. Imagine it happened to your baby. You and me and them, all humans, all connected. We all are same, just a body. You don't know what's inside your body. You don't know when you die where you go. You all same, connected. We just different bodies experience this earth, and we haven't still figured out how to create better systems for us to survive first, to become creators. This humanity will thrive and fulfilled. Each person will fulfilled when they are becoming creators, when they become creators. But first, that is the challenge here. First we need to survive, and you have elected leaders and they don't have a qualification to care for millions of people. We are not asking, and we accept whatever they do because you think just one person doesn't have a voice. But when one person becomes millions, and even their governments doesn't have millions, but people are millions. If 1 million, 10 million people get up, they should give answers. Imagine 10 million people come to the Washington or White House and ask Donald Trump, give us a qualification to care for millions of people. What is that qualification? That qualification is emotional intelligence, to understanding about yourself, understanding your emotions, how your emotions turn into actions, and how your actions impact millions of people worldwide. People, humans, just like you and me. How it can impact, to understand that human must go within themselves and learn about themselves, their emotions, how much emotional needs we have, how our thoughts are formed, how we observe our thoughts, how we become self-aware. That is the qualification of future leaders require. That is the only way humanity can thrive. We are evolving, right? What direction we are evolving right now? Right now we are evolving towards destruction, anger, fear, hatred. We just focus on technology. We are not focusing there. That's what they are giving us, for us to get distracted so they can easily control the money supply, the resources and everything. And you just obey and run, live your life through that system. But my friend, you will realize one day that is not the way we got to evolve. There's another way we can evolve. That direction is towards love, empathy, connection, fulfillment, belonging. For that to happen, first we need to create better systems. Humans can focus and think and create better systems. Think about it. If humans can focus and think and create engines, rockets that can go to Mars, why humans can't think and focus and create better systems for our communities, for ourselves to live happily? And then we can figure out what we have to do next. That is the first step. As I said, humans, we are more attached to ourselves and the people around us. That becomes our world. But the reality is that our world consists of 8 billion people on this earth. Earth itself doesn't rotate around itself. It revolves around sun as well. As a leader, they can't just rotate around their small world. They have to revolve around the entire millions of people, billions of people. That is their job. That is why you are electing them. You don't know why you are electing them, because you get a chance every 4-5 years and they give 2 options to choose from through media. and you pick the best one out of those two, and you think you did the best. You did the best for you and your future and your children's future. But the truth is, they have given you two options and choose from, and they manipulated you, distracted you, and continue that for several years now. Right now, we are at a very golden age in our civilizations, very golden age. We are more connected than ever. There are so much information at our fingertips. It is very easy, very easy. So we are connected. We can think and change the direction of how we are evolving. We can send this message across the globe, but there's another problem. Number of people who can understand what I'm saying is nearly 3 billion people who can understand English. That means there are 5 billion people who can't understand English. For them to know this, we have to translate this message across so many languages and tell those people, we need to ask for a qualification from our leaders to care for us, to think about us, to create better systems. Even they are humans and they have only 24 hours as well. So within those 24 hours, when they prioritize their small world and their resources and their power, and they use their mind only for that, how can they use their time to think about you? Think about it. You have plenty of time. If a leader truly cares about millions of people, he cares about each baby in the world. War is not an option. War is not an option. So when they leave that option, their mind can generate new options. But right now, they can't generate new options because some companies need to make their profits. So they do their advertising. They do their marketing. Imagine if you have a chocolate factory and I have a chocolate. If I don't eat that chocolate, I don't buy a chocolate again. So how you, the chocolate company, makes money? You can't. Because I am not consuming it. Then you can't make money. For them to make profits and maintain their lifestyle and control and power, we got to consume. For us to consume, there should be a reason. For us to consume, let's say weapons, someone has to die, right? That means there should be a problem. That means there should be some fear among humans to fight each other. So their marketing is basically spreading that fear through various platforms. That's their marketing, that's their advertising. They have created a network to do that. Not just one day, slowly. Even not them. They have inherited that from their ancestors. Their parents, grandparents, or someone they have worked with. They have inherited that. It's not their fault either. But it is our duty to let them know that there can be more to life than conflict and wars and manipulation and distraction. As a leader, they know that. They know psychology. They use psychology to do that right now for distract you, to manipulate you. And that knowledge can be used for the fulfillment of humans as well, to betterment of our humanity, to make our lives easy, for us to grow, feel belong and connection, and our children to learn and live. After we have fulfilled our basic needs, we don't care who rules the country. But right now, they're always on the TV. Why? They want to distract you from the reality. They want to distract you from the reality. That's when only they can maintain their game, maintain what they have attached to. They use the same human psychology, and they never gave that education even through schools, because they wanted to create an education system that create laborers, not creatives, not thinkers, not free people. Otherwise, who gonna work in their factories? Humans need to work. We have to do something to survive. We have to be part of our community. We have to do our part. But we can do that by being honest. Leaders can be honest and create systems for us to work and provide our basic needs with ease. We don't have to constantly working, running and distracted with all these complications when the same education can free us. One thing we can do is we can demand leaders to learn this, so that even we can change somewhat in 5 to 10 years, even 4 years when there's an election coming. You can ask for their qualification to be in that position, to care about millions of people. You can ask for the demand of millions of people. They have to create, they have to supply, they have to fulfill the demand. But millions of people need to ask. If 10 million people ask in US only, if 10 million people in US ask emotional intelligence qualification from their leader, I think the world gonna change so much. And we can implement the same in other countries as well. Same in other countries. Humans, citizens have the power. When you are stand up together, they don't have places to hide. When you stand up together, they don't have places to hide, my friend. You don't know the power, or you don't know what you need. You just obey what they say, and your silence approve them, because we are not much better public speakers like they are. That's what happened. If we become much better public speakers than they are, we can implement our own systems for us to survive. But this is the network that we are inherited, but we are not late. Our ancestors have gone by giving us a system. Even those people are one-time babies born without knowing, just like us. But right now, we are the ones who are breathing in this world. We can create our own systems. If small communities come together, it becomes a big community. And all the currencies in the world, the resources are shared between those communities and those systems. And I'm telling you, emotionally intelligent leaders can think and focus on you, because they have gone through themselves, they learn about themselves, so they know what you need, they know what you want in life to fulfill, thrive. Those leaders know. Because so next time, remember, when your presidents run into the election, ask for your qualification. If 1 million people in each country stand up and ask qualification from their leader, they have to fulfill that demand. With 1 million people, 10 million people is a lot. Even their military is not that large. So you have the power, my friend. You have the power to choose how you want to evolve, how your children have to live. You can choose, you can create that, you can ask for that. But we use the right words and the things they can do. We can ask them to learn effective communication. We can ask them to learn listening. We can ask them to learn emotional intelligence. That is the missing piece in this leadership. If that is fulfilled, they know you. They can prioritize you before their worldly resources, titles and beliefs. That's what needs to happen now. So I know that you have the power. You can do that. And we are going to do that.